1.
Welcome to ECGR 2103 Team Number 8, the Party Pigs presentation, The Making of Pig, Coding a Dice Game. Here we will explain how we took a classic dice game and made a modern version in C++ with a few unique twists. I'm Colin Evans, and my teammates are...
I'm Logan Davis.
I'm Nick Genie.
I'm Owen Evans.
Without further ado, let's get started. So what is Pig? Pig is a classic dice game where players roll one dice to reach the maximum score limit of 100. A turn consists of the player rolling a dice. If the dice lands on 2 through 6, the player has the choice to either roll again or hold. Rolling again means that the next roll gets added to the sum of the previous. And until the player chooses to hold, their turn score is they can continue rolling, and that score is added to their turn score. Once they hold, their turn score is added to their total score. If the dice lands on 1, however, the player loses their turn score and ends their turn. We ran into a few challenges when working on coding this project. The first is combining the code. We used several different methods of coding our own different versions for this before combining them together. It made combining a little bit more difficult to see where some used variables and some used functions. That leads me to the second point of using and repeating functions. In some cases, it was difficult to figure out what to name a function or when to use it and what just exactly that function should do. Loop conditions was also important. We wanted to make sure we did not have an infinite loop or that a loop was continuing to ask for user input. Communicating changes made was also very important with working with the team. As we made different versions throughout the coding process, we wanted to make sure that each team member was clear on just what changes were made. Finally, a little bit more specifically, dealing with the random roll for the dice. We wanted to make sure that the dice was not rolling all ones, or that it was rolling only doubles when working on this.
Next, we have the initial flowchart. Originally, we thought our project would consist of 2 separate dice games. On the left, we have the initial game that was explained in the last slide, Pig. And on the right, we have 2 Dice Pig, which is a variation of the original Pig game, but with 2 dice.
In order to clean up the code and to take away repeating functions, we added some common functions. Game list chooses a game, random roll, and roll, simulates a die 1 through 6. Scoreboard displays the score of each player at the end of each turn, and input name stores the name of each player. These are important because they're used in every single game, so they're needed to be put under common functions so it doesn't go into every function.
So, after working on the code some more, we decided we ended up wanting to do 5 games. We chose the 4 variations that were in the project description, and we ended up making a game of our own. So the main function that starts the code off starts off by calling the intro function, which is a function that outputs ASCII art of a pig and the word pig, and asks for how many players are playing and the name of each player. From there, the game list is displayed, which outputs all 5 of the games with a number identifier, and game choice takes that number identifier and chooses game. On the right here, you can see a flowchart of what I just explained with the 5 different games, beginning and end. If the player chooses 0, which is the standard game, the function pig turn is called, which pretty much runs the standard game of pig where the player rolls, and if you get a 2 or a 6, you can roll again or hold, and if you get a 1, your turn is over, pretty much. This function loops through each player's turn, and at the end of each round, a scoreboard is displayed, and this loop runs until a player scores 100. And on the right here, you can see the flowchart of this specific game.
Next, we have 2 Dice Pig, which calls a 2 dice turn function. This function includes 2 rolls per turn, and they're called at different times so the seed varies, and we have different rolls for each dice. On a single one roll, the player's turn ends and the score is removed, just as in Pig. On Snake Eyes, the player's entire score is deleted and they have to start over. The player is asked if they want to roll again or hold using the roll or hold function. In terms of scorekeeping, turn score tracks a player's score during the turn, and total score tracks the player's total score. The scoreboard function displays each player's score after a cycle of finished turns, just like in the other games. Next, Big Pig is a variation of 2-dice Pig. However, when a player rolls doubles, the roll is doubled. For example, double threes is scored as 12 points. In addition to this, when a player rolls Snake Eyes, the turn score is increased by 25. The program also has unique conditionals that identify doubles as separate from double ones, and single ones as separate from double ones.
Hog is another variation of Pig. It resembles Pig as the turn score is still reset to 1, reset if you roll a 1, and the first to 100 wins. It changes in the fact that you can roll as many dice as you want, but the more dice you roll, the higher chance it is to get a 1. I also added a cheat function, so that way if my name is misspelled as OWN, it rolls another dice that is 2 through 6. That way you never get a 1, and you get to 100 faster.
The final version of Pig that we worked on, Pop the Pig, was a special custom game mode added and created by the team. It works the same as standard with a few key differences, and even runs the same functions. However, the winning high score can be determined by the user. For example, instead of 100, the winning score could be 20. In Pop the Pig, the same rules apply. If the dice lands on 2 through 6, the player has the choice to roll again or hold. But if the dice lands on 1, the player loses their turn score and ends their turn. With Pop the Pig, the exceptions include that the player must roll exactly the winning score set at the beginning in order to win. If that winning score is exceeded, then the player has popped the pig and loses all points. Play continues until a player rolls the exact score. The total score is displayed at the end of each round. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and if you have any questions, please contact the team through the Canvas discussion board. Go ahead and play for yourself by scanning the code or following the link below. Enjoy!